Hello, beautiful beings of light. Welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Aurora Stefrak. I'm with Translucent Truth Yoga here to deliver you the weekly intuitive energy update for the week of January 9th, 2023. So welcome back if you have been here before, and welcome if you are new. So I am putting out energy updates every week so that I can help not only myself, but extend that to others to create a container, a community, so that we can understand how we can use many different modalities, many different external tools to navigate our inner realms. Wow, what a great way to explain it. I've never done it like that before. Beauty of channeling. But yeah, so basically these are timeless readings, and what that means is that you can come back to these readings anytime. I do them every week just so that I can keep us on track, to help me have content, and so that we can utilize astrology and numerology and different tools to uh, to validate our experiences, so that we can move forward in healthier ways instead of getting lost in the lack and the confusion and the scarcity and the fear. We can be like, oh my god, like the moon's in Cancer, no wonder my home life is falling apart. It's supposed to be right now. It's just like giving us that confirmation and validation. And so, like, using this as a tool, like the energetics. So anyway, I'm not going to give a whole lesson of astrology right now, but the energetics is why we use astrology. Each planet has its own energetic, which means it has its own influence and relation to us and to where we are. And so you can use that, these massive bodies of physical matter, that affect us here, right? And the moon is one that I use a lot because it helps us as in humans to keep in the cyclical rhythm, and especially women, because we're connected to the moon cycle with our shedding cycle. So we really actually do synchronize to the moon. And so anyway, these are just little examples of what, like, how you can use different tools and stuff to just navigate reality, right? Okay, so that's my little intro. I kind of struggled this week actually to get astrology, because again, I really just focus on the moon. We have the retrogrades that are happening that I mentioned last week. I'll talk a little bit about that, but other than that, I just watched this little astrology video, and she kind of covered it all in 5 minutes for the week. And so I kind of took from that and just kind of, I'm going to talk on that, and then I have my own messages that came through to deliver. It was just 3:03 on the time. Funny enough, we're going to talk about the time. So when I started writing out my stuff this afternoon, I guess, it was 12:21. And so I wrote it down, because when I journal, or when I write things down, I like to write the time down because I'm really into numbers, and it's just one of my things that I do. And so, not one of my things, it's one of my communication lines with the universe was a better way to say that. And so, like, 1221 is a mirror number, and what that means is that you have 12 on one side and 21 on the other, and so they mirror each other, right? And so what that's representing is, in the seven hermetic principles, is called the law of correspondence. Okay, and so what that law is that as above, so below, as within, so without. And what that means is that, for our human experience, what that means is that what is going on outside of us is merely a projection or an interpretation of our prism, of our consciousness, of our understanding of what's happening inside of us. So what that means is that whatever's happening outside of us isn't necessarily what we interpret to be happening outside of us, right? And so when we can learn to, like, tweak this relation from yourself and external world, and we can go, okay, like, this is all just showing me aspects of myself. That's what I mean by mirroring. It's showing you an aspect of yourself, so that you can either, like, love it and appreciate it, or honor it and let it go, right? And so this is really the simplicity of that law being, you know, practiced in real time. And so it's just 505. And so 1221 is just this number that's, and 12, I don't want to get into 12, but it's a whole thing, and 21. And so, and 2 and 1 is 3. And so, yeah, like there's a lot going on in just 1221. But I just want to focus on like the mirror numbers, right? And I've written mirror, 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 like all over this paper to remind me to keep bringing this up throughout this update, because like it's just perfect for what I'm gonna be like kind of like pulling out of this energy, right? To understand the energy that's happening right now, right? So basically the message here is to be aware of like your interpretation of situations, right? Like instead of being so reactive, sit and like maybe take it in and respond instead of just going out and just, you know, being emotionally reactive. It's like, wait a minute, actually I've been kind of emotionally reactive lately. Why? What's going on? Inquire, like ask the questions. Well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Like there can be stressors that are making you stress, that are causing you to be manifesting, to be having these lower experiences, lower energetic experiences, because that's just where you are, right? It's like not that there's anything wrong with you or whatever. It's just like your energy just needs to be tweaked. You need some upgrades in certain areas, in your mind, in your emotions, in your habits, in whatever it is. And there you are. Now you are a whole new person living a whole new life, right? And like that's kind of like actually the energy right now too, because I'm seeing like this Capricorn energy of like of constructing our new reality, but like also in motion, like we're doing it, we're seeing it, like we aren't like seeing the whole thing, but like we're doing the things that we know like in this present moment we need to do in order to build this thing, like that clarity and that motivation and that energy, like that's going to be coming through. So like while you're having this awareness of, you know, your relation to the external world and your internal world, and watching this mirroring going on of like, oh wow, like maybe I am creating a lot of problems in my life, right? Like maybe if I wasn't doing this and that, then this and that wouldn't be happening, and I wouldn't, right? Like, and it's just like take a step back, right? Again, like, and there's another message for that too, is like to take a step back and to look, like maybe just like look in the mirror, like don't be afraid to look in the mirror, right? And yeah, like don't look away from these things, because when you look away from them, they just like have power over you and control, and like you're just constantly like hiding from it, right? So it's like let those things come to the light, honor it, and let it go and move forward, so that you're able to start allowing new energies into your life. Okay, fun. That was a fun little message. So I'm just gonna start kind of banging off this, because I wrote down, yeah, like a lot of just what this girl said in the video. I just thought like, okay, cool. I'll just like go off of these points that she made, and yeah, and then I have my own stuff I'll mention at the end, and then I'll do the cards and stuff. So we will just get going. Okay, so like the first thing I have written here, I don't know, can I put that there? Yeah, I think I can. Okay, so the first thing I have written here is leadership, strength, and leaving a legacy behind. So like purpose work, I guess, is like the first word that's kind of coming through. It's like we're all kind of, okay, actually I want to read the next line too, because that's like my heart's like bursting right now. So leadership through the heart and through wisdom too, right? So leadership, strength, and leaving a legacy behind, but also like leadership through the heart and through wisdom, right? So it's like there's this excitement that's coming through in this passion, because it's like it's like this energy is coming through, like guiding us, leading us, like us having more like clarity and assurance of ourselves, and wanting to teach, like having authority, being like, instead of having this idea of like, who do you think you are, having it like, well, I know who I am and this is why I do what I do, in a confident way, so that if anybody would come to you and be like, who do you think you are, I'll be like, oh, well, this is who I am and this is what I do. Right? Poof, there goes the whole problem, because you know who you are and you know what you do, and they're questioning that, and it's like, And so, like, this clarity is going to be coming through for like each of us. And again, with that energy I was talking about, with having this, like, this greater picture of things and being able to move through the daily stuff that's going to be like, that's kind of always stopped us from being able to get where we want to go, right? And so, like, we have this energetic surge of like, okay, I want to help, I want to be a leader, I want to be a part of a community, strengthening you to be able to take the daily steps to be able to get to where you need to be. And again, like, this is all through the heart space. And so, like, the universe always provides when we choose to manifest through the heart space, because it's from a pure place, right? And so when we can manifest from a pure place, then the universe is like, yeah, of course you can have it. It's when we're wanting to manifest from a place of desire, of like a human desire, I should say, because there's like soul desire and human desire, which are obviously completely different things. And so when you can learn the difference, right, I guess, between them, and you can know, like, okay, my soul's desire is like my heart's desire, and like that's when it can be true to me and it will come to me, right? And so that's where doing all the inner work comes in, to be able to understand, oh, okay, like, that's how I can get that thing that I thought was always unattainable is now attainable, right? And I'm noticing I have like this freedom, Canada freedom shirt. I have no clean clothes, so I stole this from my boyfriend, but that's what I'm saying, right? Is like we're like gaining the access to, like, the keys to our freedom, right? It's like what was always like so far out of reach and so impossible, but like so close that you felt you could touch too. It was like this weird paradox, is like gonna be here, but again, we have to put in the work and you have to put in the effort, but like it's not gonna be as effortful as it has felt, because like the energies are supporting us right now to again step into our leadership, to strengthen us and to like lead from this heart-centered space. So that's amazing and that's beautiful. So then I have Venus trines Mars, okay? And so don't worry about the mumbo jumbo. I don't really know the whole thing either, but what it means is that the divine feminine is trining the sacred masculine. So these are like the two pure masculine and feminine coming together, or trining. I think, yeah, that's a triangle. So I don't know, I guess coming together at this certain degree. And what this is doing for us is it's harmonizing, it's balancing out our masculine and feminine, right? And I'm seeing my fingers are doing this, and as I'm doing that, I'm seeing that image of, I don't even know, it's like with God reaching his hand out and there's this guy reaching out. I don't know what it is, but like the whole thing is that they're touching, or I don't know if they're touching the finger or not, I can't remember, but it's like about God and human like kind of coming together as one. And like that's kind of what I'm seeing right now when I'm doing this over and over again, is like that, like the masculine and feminine, the God and spirit, meaning the masculine and the feminine, the physical reality and the spiritual world are merging right now, and they're coming together. You're unifying in harmony, which means that they're unifying in harmony within us. And so that's why we're going to be able to have like more direction and more clarity, and the energy to be able to actually like be creative and do what it is that we love and want, because this aspect that's happening is bringing the balance that's needed between the communication lines of the masculine and feminine, right? So that they're able to be in balance, because they're opposites. And so when they're not in balance, then it's hectic and chaotic, but when they are in balance, it's life. And so like that's what's happening, is like we're coming back together in balance, right? So I have here that it's about love, affection, romantic passions, but also any kind of passions. It's this magnetic energy, and it covers social gatherings, cultural events, any kind of partnership, new or existing. Resolves personal issues creatively. And so like that's what I'm meaning by like we're able to have the clarity to be able to problem solve, to be able to deal with things and like take the action and have the energy, right? So like that is like exciting to me, to be able to resolve our issues in a creative way instead of like always hitting the dead end and feeling like we're stuck. So yeah, we're going to be really engaged in creating a solution, basically, right? So yeah, that was Venus trining Mars, right? So that's the divine feminine, um, coming in contact with the sacred masculine, the two sacred energies coming together, right? And just communicating. That's like what I'm hearing is like there's communication lines that are going to be opening up, and our heart is going to be opening up, and like so I'm seeing like there's going to be a lot of divine unions happening. So like there's like so all of these things are going to be like all of these problems that have been problems are just going to be coming together to dissolve and resolve. Remember last week I talked about that? I talked about these like this harmonization that's going to be happening. So now I'm getting the message here about like more specific about the harmonization that's happening and like how profound that it really is, right? And so like on that level of conception of the masculine and feminine, which is source, pure source, and then going beyond that, it's like that's now going to be our anchor point, and like it's going to just start growing and expanding. I'm seeing like us going out of the dark age into the light. It's like so we're just going from, like the sun is starting to rise is what I'm hearing, right? Like as an analogy, like that's where we're at. We're like right at the break of dawn, right? Yeah, okay, that's good for that. Beautiful, I love it. Okay, and then I have mirror here written beside, like to remind me, and actually I do want to kind of bring that in. So, okay, that's a cool message to come through. So like with the leadership and the strength and leading through the heart space and masculine and feminine coming into balance, utilizing that as a tool of strengthening yourself. So when problems start coming up, when situations start arising, have that as your awareness. Okay, like these are my problems right now, but they're not going to be my problems forever. And so how am I going to move through this now so that I'm able to get to where I want to be, right? Instead of just worrying the whole time and not being able to get anywhere, right? So when we're going through this, you use this mirror understanding, because when shitty things are happening to you, then like reflect, take a moment on it, and like kind of look around and see what's going on and kind of see where you've been, where you're going, and how you even ended up there, right? Like use this mirror of the external world to show you and to guide you like what's working for you and what's not, right? So cool, I like that. Okay, so then I want to just touch real quick on the Mars retrograde that I talked about last week. So this week it's going to be stationing direct. So this January 12th, it'll be stationing direct. I think that's Friday, but don't take my word. January 12th for sure. Mars will be stationing direct in Gemini. It's been in retrograde since October 30th. And Mercury is still. Oh, sorry. No, that's not where I wanted to go. Okay, yeah, that is. Mercury is still in retrograde. Mercury rules Gemini, where Mars has been. So Mars has been in Gemini. So, okay, so Mars is what's going direct on January 12th. Mercury is still in retrograde for another week and a half or something like that, which again I talked about last week. So while Mercury is still retrograde, Mars is going direct. Now, Mars is in Gemini going direct, ruling communication, and it's saying that Mercury rules Gemini, which is like, so there's synchronicities going on, is what I'm trying to say. Like, there's too many words happening right now, and it's irrelevant to explain it. There's this parallel that's happening, there's this connection that's happening between like these two planets and why they're important, right? And so like between what sign they're in retrograde and direct, blah blah blah, all that stuff, what I'm saying is that they're working together to help us communicate through these, like, what's happening right now. Oh, I can't talk, I can't say this, I can't figure out the words I want. How do I communicate this? I'm like, okay, well, that's just not working. I'll throw that out and I'll just start different, right? Like, that was a great example of like what is the energy that's going to be happening, because it's like, oh God, how did I get here? Okay, well, we're just going to go this way now, right? And so that's how my message went, and that was so perfect, right? Because then it showed you and gave you an example of the energies, right? So that's what's going to be happening, right? Like, where it's going to be like, okay, like, what the fuck? Like, how did I get here? Like, oh my God, what am I trying to say? What am I doing? And then it's like, okay, well, realizing we're just going to calculate what we need, calculate what we don't, and make a decision and go forward, right? But that, in order to make the calculation, you have to stop and reflect, right? So that's why you have to slow down, and then you can move forward with your calculated decision. So Mercury is going to be going direct January 18th, right? So this is when things are going to start moving forward again. So this whole that beep, 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 boop, 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 communication line struggle is going to be more difficult until January 18th, and that's because Mercury's retrograde, right? So it's like right now, like Mars is starting to go direct, but it's like a slow start because like it has to, work with the inertia from it going retrograde, right? And so like as Mars is like slowly building up, Mercury is still going retrograde, and then on the 18th, as it goes direct, they'll both be moving in a forward direction. So like when I talked about like the arrow being pulled back, it's like we're still in that pulling back phase. And so like don't go out and make like all these decisions and changes and stuff. Just you have to do it within yourself, make calculated choices, and then the energy is going to just push us forward and support us. Right? So I have stand still until January 18th. And like all I mean by that is like don't make any like rash decisions, right? And like whatever, I don't know, whatever it is that's like a big deal for you, right? You just need to just like sit with it. Okay, so I have Mars direct. Conversation and communication slowly begins to quicken and move forward. Clarity on things that have frustrated you after the last couple of months, especially 2.5 months. So you'll be gaining clarity, energy, and forward movement. A lightness will start to be felt in your body, and your passion is being reignited. Your inner fire in your inner fire. How do I want to say that? Yeah, so okay, yeah, okay, so I already did, that's why. So, okay, I'm gonna just start that over. A lightness will start to be felt in your body, and your passion is being reignited. So then I have your inner fire equals easily taking action, and your resistance will lessen, right? So like your resistance to doing things is gonna lessen because you're gonna feel motivated and excited to do the things because they're in alignment with, your wants and desires, right? Your heart. Okay, and then I have here Venus squaring Uranus, okay? So Uranus is in Venus's home sign of Taurus, and Uranus is the ruler of Aquarius. So these are both fixed signs, and this creates an impulsive dynamic, okay? An impulsive dynamic energy. So it's very creative, but be wary of drama, right? So when I say impulsive dynamic energy, it's like a nervous energy. When you think of like nervous energy, it's like to be impulsive, and dynamic is movement, right? So impulsive dynamic energy is like this, like brrr, like, so that can be excitement, but that can also be nervousness. And so it's like, how is your body and mind interpreting this energy that's coming through? It's like, I feel agitated, I'm annoyed, or is it like, I'm excited to do, right? So it's like, where are you on that, right? And like having an awareness, kind of like the whole mirror thing I was saying. How's your inner world interpreting your outer world? Is it because you're not okay? Or is it because things in your world are actually like problematic and you need to change that, right? So yeah, like this energy is going to be very like helpful if we choose to nourish it, but if we don't, then it's going to be very detrimental to us. So we have to act on what you feel guided to do. Yeah. So you just need to act what you feel guided to do at this time, right? So like, again, it's not about just making decisions. It's about like creating space, holding space for yourself for that information to come to you, so you can be like, oh, okay, cool, like that's what I need to do, and you have the understanding and you have the knowing, and it feels good in your body, right? It resonates with you. So like that's what being guided is, right? It's not just like, oh, I don't know, like external forces are making me have to do this. It's like, no, I'm like, what do I want? What do I need? And how can I create that space and do the things that I need to do to get there, right? So it's a time for being hands-on, open to experimentation, to not be resisting change, to be present in an open-hearted way so you can channel your nervous energy of the impulsive dynamic energy, right? So yeah, so it's be open to experimentation. So again, and changes. So be open to, again, there's that dynamic energy of like, just like, okay, this is where we're at. We got to move around. We got to get here now. We got to da, 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 da. Like, that's okay. Like, things are going to pick up, but like, as they're picking up, make sure like you're doing everything that needs to be done in order for like that to flow properly, or else like you're going to get frustrated because things aren't flowing, right? Okay, awesome. So that is what I have from that little energy update that that I pulled that information from. Let me just sit with myself for a minute and see. Yeah, okay, I'll read this. I'll read this first and then I'll do cards. I was contemplating if I wanted to do cards and then read this, but I'll just do this. Okay. So, like, before I came and sat down, like, I was just gonna do, like, what I had written and I just did for you. But then I started kind of getting, like, symptom ideas. Like, I was like, oh, I want to kind of write, like, out, like, how we might be feeling, right? Or what we might be experiencing. And so, the first message that I got was low energy, right? So, interestingly enough, like we're gonna be feeling very low energy, but that dynamic energy is gonna be coming through. So again, like that could cause irritability if we're not upkeeping meeting our basic needs, right? And so that's why it's important that when you're feeling out of sorts, that you need to slow down and you need to go, okay, what's going on? Like you may just need to eat, you might need to go to bed earlier tonight. Like there's different things that you can have an awareness of that's going to help you, right? Just even physically like that, right? um Maybe you've been going through a really hard time and you need to reach out to somebody and you need to ask for help and you need to like go to a therapist or go get a reading from someone or go, I don't know, whatever it is that you feel that you're guided to go and look into, right? And so like with that, it's like don't get upset with yourself because you don't have the energy. Listen to the fact that you don't have the energy, right? Like take your obligations and lessen them then. Okay, well, like prioritize what really needs to get done and what doesn't need to get done. Like there's certain things like maybe grocery shopping, you want to like order it all online and have it delivered this week because you just don't have the energy, right? Like it's like do things that are going to make your life easier and flow better so that you don't have to use your energy in those ways. And like maybe that's how you'll do it from then on. And then you cut out that entire like time frame to do that if that's something that is interesting, that like interests you, right? Okay, so I also have like feeling introspective, okay? And so like again, like this is going within and this talks about that whole mirroring thing again, right? And that's kind of really what I'm talking about is that like be more aware, be more introspective of the external and your internal world and like observant of the two, right? Be like, okay, that's interesting. Like just listen to your judgments. Like your judgments, your ego, your mind isn't actually you. It's just thoughts and things that are coming up. And like so if you just learn to observe them and go, oh wow, like as if it was a friend saying that to you. Like maybe you walk past someone and you're like, oh god, like those pants are so ugly, like, and then you just keep going. And then you're like, wow, like why did I just like judge them like that? That was like so unnecessary. And like being aware that like you've just shot energy at their field and you just created a whole energetic impulse through the fabric of reality through your thought because like you were unconsciously like attacking her and judging her, not attacking her but like judging her and like laughing at her and like whatever. And so like it creates this whole field now around you, right? And so it's like having that awareness of like the power of your thoughts, right? It's like, whoa, whoa, man, I gotta like slow down, Joe, here and like figure out like what am I even thinking every day? Whoa. And so like start there, like feeling introspective, being like, like being curious, wanting to know more about even you, maybe like your family lineage, your ancestors, maybe your past lives, like maybe your childhood, maybe your parents, maybe whoever raised you, whatever it is, right? And so like these curiosities are gonna start arising within us, right? Okay, and then I have take things slow. So I think I've like said enough about that you guys understand. Like if things are feeling too much, if you feel like you don't have the energy, slow down and be okay. Go within and okay, what do I need? What do I got to do, right? And navigate from there from this higher perspective instead of getting stuck in that negative energy, right? Okay, I have no solid decisions. So playing in relation to the to idea um playing in realm of ideas. Okay. Sorry, sometimes my reading's hard or my writing's hard to read. So what I'm saying here is like don't be making any solid decisions. I've already kind of covered that, but like just kind of play in the realms of ideas right now, right? And like okay, like what do I want? What do I desire? Kind of just start like playing with your dreams, and that's like until Mercury goes direct on January 18th. And that's because these energies right now are like pulling us there, like this resistance energy from like the analogy of pulling the arrow back and slinging it forward, and then that momentum pushing us forward. So when we're in this lower energy, lower, denser, like harder to move through energy, like understand that that's where we're in, that's where we're at, and that's okay. And so like work with that, slow down, chill, right? And then once we're in that quicker energy, you'll be shot forward faster because you'll have the structure and the foundation for you to be able to, right? Okay, and then focus on daily habits and practical actions, daily practical actions, right? So, like, that's what I was kind of just saying there is like to slow down, and then this kind of ties in is to take that time to focus on the daily practical actions, right? So, it's like if you're neglecting an aspect of your life, instead of keep on neglecting it and making it worse and worse and worse, then look at it and go, okay, how am I gonna like, how am I gonna do this? How am I gonna figure all this out, right? And come at it from that way instead of being in fear and worry and disempowerment. Okay, awesome. And then slow, focused, and intentional. Again, same message. So thoughtful actions followed by contentment. Okay, I love that. So through us slowing down and having thoughtful action, then we'll be followed by contentment. We'll be followed with a full heart because we're where we need and want to be because we took the time to slow down to know where that is, right? So if you will feel confused, then you're being asked to stop and to listen to the silence. So what arises in the silence? Again, creating that space and opening yourself up for guidance, right? To listen, okay, what is it that I need? Don't listen to the ego that says you need this, you need this, you need this, or other people that say you need this, you need this. It's like, okay, let's like take all that away and create all this space so that I can like hear the message. Like, okay, what do I need? Like, what do I need? What do I really need? And then go from there. Yeah, and then focus on using your creative energy for constructful things and not getting caught in worries and old stories. There will be some technical difficulties. It's 33:33 on the time. And then, yeah, if things keep going wrong, again, slow down, don't speed up or force things. I really wanted to get that message across. Okay, yeah, and then like my right wrist is hurting me right now, and I just wrote, like, I wanted to mention this because, like, my body is always telling me things, like, that's, there's a communication line between, like, my mind and my body, so I know, okay, like, what does this mean? Like, I've hurt myself enough or had hurtings enough where I'm like, okay, that's what that means. So the right wrist, the wrist represents doing things that you don't want to do, and the right is the masculine, right? So it's like I'm doing things that I don't want to do. If it was the left wrist, it would be the feminine. So it would be more like emotionally related, more like internal, like there's this internal struggle that's happening and you you don't want to do it. And so there's this like inner push that's coming, but this is like I'm doing things outside myself that I don't want to do, right? And so I just wanted to like mention that because this masculine is about the action, right? So again, like I didn't know this is why I wanted to tell you this, but I put be careful with actions at this time. So again, I wanted to be thorough for us to know, slow down, go within, be introspective, ask yourself the questions, create the space, and let the guidance come through. Okay? And don't keep pushing. And then come January 18th, when Mercury goes back direct, it'll all open up for you. So there's really nothing to worry about, right? You're being trained to not worry in a really worrisome time, right? And so that's what's going to help you to break out of those limiting beliefs and those limiting patterns. Awesome. That was beautiful. Okay, I just need to like stretch my legs real quick. Oh my god. Again, like I'm so sore, so again, like just being slow and gentle is crucial at this time. Drinking lots of water. When he took my drink, I saw dance on the wall. So dance, body movement, as I just stood up and didn't move my body, duh. Okay, so let's do it. So the first one we're gonna pull from is Work Your Light Oracle. I'm just gonna pull, I'm not gonna do any like order or anything. I just wanna pull and see what wants to come through. I have like 7 decks here. We'll see how many I use. It was just 36, 36. 3 and 6 is 9, and when I went to go say that, it was 36, 39. So there's all those 3 6s and 9s, which is that infinite energy that is starting to pour through us, which is that connection to the cosmic energy, because that's 2023. 2023 is a 7, and if you watched last week's, I talked all about 7 and connecting to the cosmic energy and having, and that's that creative energy that's coming through. It's like our life force energy is connecting with the universe's life force energy. So it's like we're having this communication line come through, which means we're being nourished again by these higher light code energies. Okay, warrior woman, if you weren't afraid, what would you do? And it's reversed. So again, fear, right? Like this is what's stopping us. Worry, fear, doubt, lack, scarcity, how, needing to know all the answers. You know, this is the kind of stuff that's stopping us. So see this sword here? It's like telling you to cut through the bullshit, cut through your belief systems that don't serve you, cut through physical experiences that don't serve you. Be like, okay, fuck it, I just don't need to do this anymore. Okay, fine, I've been working this job for 20 years. I am gonna quit. I'm finally gonna quit. I'm gonna do it. Okay? So, and there's a release coming through with solar plexus and then throat. So like there's this again, that's the communication line with our power. Oh yeah, I love it. So yeah, we're really like cutting, and again, the sword of truth here. Like that's what the sword is representing, is this the throat, right? The truth and the communication line. Priestess, how are you being called to step up and lead? So perfect. So there goes back to what the energy update I was saying, is that we're being called to step up and lead right now, but like it's reversed. So it's like, yeah, but I don't know how, Aurora. Like I'm like, what the heck? Like, how am I supposed to do that? I don't understand. And so again, it's like doing the work, cutting through all the illusions with your swords, right? Being able to speak the truth, speak your truth, stand in your power. This is the stuff that's going to help you to like know what your purpose is. Like, do you know who you are? Do you know yourself? Like maybe it's time to start like being your friend instead of your enemy, and then you'll be able to flip that experience around and be able to be in an experience that's more in alignment with being healthy and happy. Okay, and then we have Sisterhood of the Rose. So beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic, and teacher. Oh my god. So again, like another leadership card, but this this is through the heart space. This isn't just like leadership. This is actually like Mary Magdalene's Sisterhood of the Rose lineage, right? And so this goes back to, it's just like oh wow. ancient Egypt and Isis, right? And the sacred knowledge that was passed down, right? So through certain bloodlines, and so like it's not just leadership. Like this one, priestess one, I was talking about leadership. This one I'm actually talking about leadership, but through the heart, right? The feminine, the heart centered, right? So it's like showing me here, like, and I know this is feminine, but between these two cards, I would say this is the more masculine card and this is the more feminine card, right? And so, like, again, there's the balance of the two, right? Coming together. But again, they were both pulled reverse. So they're coming together, and then you'll have to change your perspective, right? On a lot of things. Oh yeah, no big deal. The universe is so great. So we have dance. What did I say when I took my drink of water? Dance, right? So dance. So it says do something to shift your vibration. And again, so like just after I said this to shift your perspective, this is again like saying do something physically to shift your vibration, to shift your perspective, to move beyond where it is, to change where it is that you are, to get to where you want to be. And then you have answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? And it's like, Aurora, I just said I don't know. Well, listen to the guidance that just came through. Sit with yourself, understand yourself, know yourself, and that's where all the answers will come through for you. And one last thing, perfect. Share your voice. Come out of the cave, persecution, and expression. And again, that was reversed. So this card's really talking about kind of like throat chakra stuff, right? So this is like us not being able to speak, not being able to communicate, not knowing, not understanding ourselves, and being persecuted, being rejected, being ostracized for being yourself. And so then you don't want to be yourself anymore, but then you aren't you because you've lost yourself and like trying to avoid being hurt again, right? And so now it's again speaking your truth, standing in your power. And I want to see one more. And sharing your voice. Yeah, exactly. Starseed. So what lights you up, right? So that's what you're going to be learning about yourself, right? What lights you up? Oh, and then break the chain. So ancestral patterns, healing, and rewriting the future. Exactly. So again, then that's the result of it, is the healing and the generations to come to be able to live in a more harmonious, peaceful, sustainable life, world, right? Okay, awesome. Okay, now I want to do the Moonology deck and see what's going to come through for that. New moon in Scorpio, working through your fears, and again it's reversed. So again, like there's that resistance to it. And so yeah, like I don't really think I need to say more than that. It's working through your fears, doing your shadow work, doing your inner work, being more introspective, being honest with yourself. Oh, truth. Scorpio's all about truth as well, right? So it's like speak the truth and everything will be fine. If you don't, you're gonna get stung, right? Eventually. So yeah, face your fears. It's time to face your fears and to move forward with a new perspective. Be bold and make the first move. Cardinal Moon. Okay, there you go. And it was reversed. So you're like, okay, but I don't know how to I don't know which direction to go. I don't know how to, right? And I just saw 333, which is all about like being protected and being guided. And so again, like coming back to that guidance, right? Like making that space and listening, right? So be bold and make the first move. So slow down, create the space, listen, take the action. And then we have prosperity lies ahead, new moon in Taurus. Let's see. Nothing will come of the situation. Okay, interesting. I was like, what? And so it was reversed as well, guys. And so again, nothing will come of the situation. So, okay, that's cool. So it's like, be aware of what is, what's gonna like last in the long run versus like instant gratification, right? That's what I'm getting for this. Is like prosperity lies ahead reverse. So it's like, nope, not that way. And then it says nothing will come of the situation. So again, no, not that way. So like be aware not to take the wrong move. And then I'm being shown this. So like, be bold and take the first move. Well, how do I know what move to take? Well, there you go. Work through your fears so that you're able to have clarity and understanding of what move that you need to make, and then have faith in your dreams. How perfect is that, to pull those cards together? And then it was 44 and 55. 4 is all about foundations and 5 is all about change, right? So learning how to be okay with the changes that are happening with your foundation, with your roots, and trusting that better things are coming for you, right? Okay, and then we're going to go into the Archangel Therapy Oracle deck. We'll get a few from here. Oh, okay, those are the ones. Cancel, clear, delete. Use only positive words and thoughts as they're rapidly manifesting into form. Ask the angels to cancel the effects of past negative thinking. There you go. So how do you work through your fears? Cancel, clear, delete. Cancel, clear, delete. From all directions of time, to ask yourself for guidance to leave these thoughts and fears behind. Okay, what steps do I need to move forward to cancel, clear, and delete these thoughts and beliefs, right? And then we have Ascended Masters. Powerful, loving, and wise spiritual teachers are watching over and guiding you. What did I say with that 333 message? I said that Ascended Masters are with you and that you are being guided. So again, there's the physical card if you really wanted and needed that confirmation, right? Just to tell you that my messages are something to trust, right? And then we have vegetarian, vegan. Fresh organic fruits and vegetables give you a boost of high life force energy, which elevates your spiritual frequency. Awesome. So then again, I'm hearing that we're now going from a physical-based reality to an energetic-based reality. So when we're going to be eating food and nourishing ourselves, we're actually not looking at food as a solid thing anymore, and we're going to understand it on an energetic level. So something that has more life force energy, which would be like an apple or a banana, versus like something that doesn't, which would be a cracker, right? Or a chip or something like that, has zero life force energy. So it's like understanding it from that perspective, not like, well, this has that many calories and that has that many calories, so it's okay if I do that. Like, we're going away from that thought and that understanding, and we're going to be having a real and a truer understanding of like how to nourish our body, right? So it's like that's going to be starting for us. Oh, that's so great. And so cancel, clear, and delete all your fears, negative beliefs and thought patterns. The Ascended Masters are with you, calling their guidance, and then we're going to be changing our our way of food, seeing food as medicine. And then we have fairies. So you have a strong bond with the fairies, and your life purpose involves helping Mother Nature. So again, there's more guides all around us. This is just kind of reminding me to let you know, like, it's not just Ascended Masters, that there's so many different guides. So kind of create the space, have your intuition receive the information and trust it, right? Oh, I'm connected with the fairies. So if you're drawn to the fairies, then go learn about the fairies and understand the fairies and their energies and the elementals. And so there's different avenues that you can go of, like, not fantasy, but I don't know the right word, right? But yeah, they're guides, right? They are real. And so like opening yourself up to this spiritual realm, right? To be able to be guided, right? Okay, I actually want one more from that. So base chakra and clear yourself. Ask the angels to release any toxic energies that you may have absorbed, and choose only positive thoughts to describe your home, career, and finances, as your words determine your outcome. Perfect. So that was a great way to polish that off. And then I want to just do a couple from this. So the power of love. And then we'll go. And it was just 48. Okay. Oh, that card doesn't belong in here. What is it? Aw, stay. I love that. That's beautiful. So again, like this is, you know, just what I'm getting for this. First, I kind of thought like stay, like it was like a with people, like external thing, but it actually, then the message I got was like, this is like you and your inner child, right? Your inner child's like, please stay. Like yourself is like, please stay, please don't leave, and find me again if you ever lose me, right? If we ever lose each other, we'll come back together. It was just 936 on the time. So, okay, well, that's cool. That was a fun little extra. Okay, so we have responsibility. You are aware of the power of your thoughts and the amount of love that you express. Interesting. In alignment with that message I just said about our thoughts and the power. Integrity. You demonstrate the truth and honesty of your soul and manifest love with your every action. Beautiful. So again, there's that, what I just said about that state card is like your inner child. I used that as an example, but that's your integrity, right? So what is in alignment with your true self, right? Priorities. You understand the paramount importance of manifesting love in all situations, right? So what are your priorities? And this card's saying always it should be love. Expression. You are ready to manifest your thoughts and transform them into acts of love. Exactly. So again, being able to create that space, receive the message, and then move forward and actually reap the benefits of doing it that way. Discernment. You are developing the skill to distinguish love from fear and truth from illusion. I love it. Okay, one more. It was just 50-55, just 555. Tolerance. You appreciate other points of views because you sense the love in everyone. And again, tolerance, but I'm also hearing acceptance, right? Acceptance of others' perspectives, right? Ownership. You acknowledge your misdeeds and accomplishments alike and learn to love them as all of your lessons. Okay, that's a beautiful way to end it. Awesome. Okay, so like when I first read that, I was like being shown like my partner and I, we were in it the other day, and like he told me this story about like his about his kids and how he explained to his kids that like, you know, just because someone does something bad doesn't make them a bad person, that like people are just people and we all are capable of doing good or bad. And we all have done good or bad. So I just wanted to kind of leave it on that, like that little thought, so that we can just sit with that and not judge ourselves or judge others for what it is that we're seeing happening outside of ourselves. And the truth of it is that you really know nothing about the situation or the person, and so there's no need for the judgments, and then for ourselves, for the actions that we've taken, instead of avoiding taking responsibility for it, we're able to soften our heart and understand like, oh, just because I did that, I'm not a bad person. It just means that I may have done something that I shouldn't have, and I'm going to learn from it, right? Because you did it because you should have done it. That's why I did it like that, because you did it because it needed to happen so you could learn the lesson. And so if you keep like perpetuating the guilt and the shame and whatever it is that you feel, then you're not actually learning from it, and you're gonna create experiences that are mirroring those aspects of yourself, right? And so in order to dissolve that and to make that part of yourself loved and whole and integrated, then that's what you need to do, is to sit with it, understand it, look at it, and integrate it into you, and learn the lesson, and so then you don't do it again. Awesome. Okay. One more card. Ear chakra. Notice messages that appear as sounds, music, and words from both external sources and within your mind. These messages are real answers to your prayer. Love it. Okay, guys, and that is that. So I'm sending you all so much love. Thank you for listening. I hope that you enjoyed, and I'll see you next week. Bye.